I think that Chargers-Patriots game is over now. If you're rewatching this, I would suggest you jump forward to, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes in. Hopefully, we'll have some people in here and we'll start talking about how my team moved on to the divisional round. And the late game, I watched that game. I watched my team's game and I watched the late game. And I really wanted the Chargers to win that game. I think I had more emotion in that game than I did in my own team's game. Because I feel like the Niners are playing with house money. We shouldn't be here. But here we are. Do you see the logo? Do you love it? So, yeah, anyways, I'll give it a minute or two. We'll let a few folks get in here. And then we'll talk about some football. Hey, bro, was it just me or did Harbaugh look like he was tweaking? He had that tongue thing going on at the end. Like, I don't know. Harbaugh's always kind of been that way, though, but I seen that. I was like, what the hell? What's up, Big E? Thank you. Yeah, I broke out the celebratory hat this evening. What's up, Cora? Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Yeah, bro. Like, I was like, what the hell? Like, they showed him on the sideline. He's like, I'm like, what is this dude? Like, Harbaugh's always been kind of different, you know? Jim Harbaugh. But, yeah, that looked weird. I don't know. And I don't know, like, I don't know why, but I thought the Chargers were gonna knock those guys. I really did. I thought this was gonna be Herbert's breakout game, and his brother John is yeah, he sure is. Everybody wants him. Everybody's trying to get John Harbaugh now. Do me a favor, guys, hit that like button. Looks like we got 20 in the house. Welcome in, everybody. We're talking a little bit of football. We are the champions. Kittle got hurt today. Oh, my goodness. And those trashy-ass Eagle fans were singing, na, 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 goodbye. That's terrible. That's like the Seahawks fans. They're terrible, too. No, and I completely agree with you, Taft. Like Harbaugh's, he's like a quarterback whisperer, you know? So, I mean, I'll tip my hat to the New England defense because they obviously did a good job, you know what I mean? Did they hold them to 3? But, and I think that's the first game I've actually watched, the playoff that I care about seeing in the Super Bowl. So I heard somebody say the other day, and oh man, I have mixed emotions on this one, but they were saying if the NFL is scripted, then here's the scenario for the Super Bowl. Niners Steelers. Now, hear me out on this one, right? And it kind of makes sense if you're going from a scripted point of view, because I'll give you a little bit of history on Aaron Rodgers and the Niners, right? So when Aaron Rodgers was drafted way back in the horse and buggy days of the NFL, I believe the Niners had the number 1 pick, and we selected Alex Smith. And we could have had Aaron Rodgers, but we selected, and Alex Smith was a good pick, you know? He did all right for us, you know, like he was a good quality starter. Not an Aaron Rodgers, but so when, they basically, when they talked to Aaron Rodgers, when he finally got drafted all the way down at like number 20 or whatever it was, Next level, then I hop on the bandwagon and pray that they go to this. All right, sounds good, bro. It sounds good. Uh, so when he did get picked by the Packers, though, they were interviewing him at the draft, and basically he said he's going to make the Niners pay every time he plays them. And he hasn't had a whole lot of luck with that, especially in the playoffs. So I'll be rooting for Aaron Rodgers to get that ring, not for the Steelers. Nah, and I get it, bro. I get it. You know, and that's all good. Rodgers already got a ring, but here's the scenario. So Rodgers finally beats the Niners in a playoff / Super Bowl game. You know what I mean? He's already got one, Jeff. I think he won one in 2010, if I'm correct. Manny says, go Broncos. Broncos are going to be tough because they have home field advantage, and Mile High Stadium is no joke to go play in. With the higher elevation, it's tough for opposing teams, you know? 2013, yeah. That's right. Yeah, I know he got one. I think it was his MVP year he got his ring. But honestly, I mean, if the Niners don't go and somehow the Steelers get there, I think I'll be rooting for them too. Because just the nostalgia of it, I guess. You know what I mean? But it's all right. Niners won. Honestly, I kind of went into this postseason with not the highest of hopes. We've gone in, you know, we played 2 Super Bowls, 19 and 23, and lost to the Chiefs. And those were both super teams. I came in with such high expectations, and it was so heartbreaking to lose. And we came into this playoff season, and I'm kind of just watching the game thinking, well, you know, we basically, we outpunched our weight with all the injuries and everything, and all the players that we lost like 3 All-Pros in the off season. You know what I mean? A great of the sport. Yeah, and I agree with you there. You know, dude's an interesting character, but definitely gonna go down as one of the all-time greats. You know, I agree. So yeah, next week we go to Seattle for the rematch, and honestly, I think the pressure's on Seattle. It's not on us, because we're already out punching our weight. So basically, everybody we play from here on, the pressure's on them, because they're supposed to beat us. You know, I don't know where all this scrappiness came from with my team. Had we been this scrappy with all the superstars that we had in the past, damn, like we would have a couple of rings already during the Shanahan era. But anybody that can move the ball down hill as fast as he can, absolutely. And that was one thing, Tapwood, one critique I had of that game. When the Chargers were in hurry up with like 5.5 minutes to go, I'm sitting there like, what is taking them so long? Like, hurry up, you know? Like, I was feeling frustrated, you know what I mean? I think you missed my comment, Bobby. What'd you say? If 49ers win the Super Bowl, I'll become an official fan. That's usually the way most people become official fans, to be honest with you, bro. You know, they hop on the bandwagon at some point, and hopefully they hang around, you know? That's, honestly, that's how I became a 49er fan. The Super Bowl against the Bengals, I think it was like 1986. And, you know, I seen what Montana and Rice were cooking up over there in San Francisco, and I said, shit, I want to be a part of that. So, yeah, like it was, I mean, I have no emotional attachment to the Chargers, but like I was frustrated as hell. I was like, hurry up, get on the ball. Like the time is ticking. Like you need 2 scores, you know? See what shit comes out of Jazz fans' mouth about your team. Yeah, no, I seen that part. And honestly, he's probably nervous. Who should the Raiders take with the first pick? of the 20. I think they're going to take that kid from Indiana, the quarterback, Adrian. Is it Fernandez? I'm not sure. I'm not really. I don't pay too much attention to college ball. About that, I was so happy about that last touchdown we made tonight. I was like, now if the other team doesn't, oh, they had me nervous driving down the field though. Doesn't score. Fernando, yes, exactly. If the other team doesn't score and we just stay here for the last few minutes of the game, then yeah, exactly. And honestly, I will say this: as bad as our defense has been this year, they really stood up in clutch moments. That final drive against the Bears today, you know what I mean? So, Bobby, it's a secret, LOL. But I grew up. Oh, really? Well, yeah. Being in the Central Valley, I would imagine there are probably a lot of Niner fans around you, bro. I mean, the games all get played on TV. I remember stopping at truck stops from time to time up that way, like Lodi and up that way, and they always play the games. So it's all right, bro. You can ride with us the rest of the way. If we would have lost today, I would have been riding with you guys, which I guess would not have been a very long trip, unfortunately. But I mean, Herbert played his damn heart out. Like it's hard to get sacked 6-7 times in a game and be successful, like, that they got to fix that O-line. They got to figure that out, How old were you when you became a fan? I was like probably 13, 14, somewhere around there. I was just a kid. My uncle Dallas was a big Niner fan. And I've told the story before. We were watching that Super Bowl, and the Bengals went down and scored. There was like, I don't know, two minutes or so, 3 minutes, something like that. There wasn't a whole lot of time left. And that was before all these big comebacks started becoming a thing. And I said, man, this game's over. And I got up to go outside and smoke a cigarette. And the Niners just drove down the field and scored that touchdown. And I was like there was something special about Montana and Rice, My grandfather was stationed in San Diego. That's where my mom was born. So he was a diehard. Okay, nice. And Chargers was always my second team, like the 49ers are now. So when my grandpa died, okay, no, that's cool to keep the legacy alive, bro. Absolutely. You adopted the Chargers. That's good stuff. Yep, Cora was born into the red and gold. Yeah, that's cool, bro. Keep the legacy alive, Yeah, that was unfortunate, Oh, Cora, it looks like Mom says, nope, you picked me over hers. So, yeah, honestly, I'm kind of shocked that we won, if I'm being completely honest. I knew Philadelphia didn't have big offense, but, oh, yeah, those guys were fantastic, I was about to roast that comment, but it's gone. Yeah, LT was amazing. Definitely. They had some really good quarterbacks back in the day. Was Philip Rivers originally on the Chargers? I know Dan Fouts, and there were some other ones, right? Into it because you didn't pick a team until years after we were already established. Okay, I'll leave that conversation between you two there. But bang, bang, Niner gang. Unfortunately, in our game today, George Kittle tore his Achilles tendon, and And that injury typically takes 9 months to a year to recover from. No ETA? LOL? I don't know what that means. But, yeah, so I don't think we're going to see George Kittle next year either, unfortunately. Yeah. Antonio Gates was amazing, you know? One of the all-time greats, for sure. I don't think he gets mentioned enough when they're discussing the greats. But, yeah, Kittle, I'm concerned with the Kittle injury because the best shit talker looked for a quarterback for a while. Philip Rivers, yeah. I kind of enjoyed watching Philip Rivers play those few games, even though honestly he didn't do too great. But you know, coming off the couch at 44 years old, I tip my hat to the guy, you know. But obviously his best years were behind him already. But yeah, good stuff there. Yeah, I agree. Let's let it ride a little bit with the timeouts, just because maybe I can have a little fun with some of these trolls. You know, if it's racist or like pedo talk, then absolutely get them out of here. But let's let it ride a little bit. But yeah, with Kittle, I don't know, man. I hope he don't go and retire on us. I mean, dude's already 32 years old. He's been having quite a few injuries lately. So yeah, we'll ease up on the timeouts a little bit, unless it's super, you know, sexual or super disrespectful or like talking about crimes against children or shit like that, you know. But yeah, so I guess we got Bears and Rams next week in Chicago in the NFC, and then we go to Seattle. Like I said, we're playing with house money. So I think the pressure's really going to be on Sam Darnold in this game to make it happen for his Seahawks. And honestly, that last game, even when they beat us, had we just got the offense kickstarted a little bit, we would have won that game. You know what I mean? So, you know, I'm not overly concerned because technically we were realigning this year. I mean, we lost Talanoa Hufanga, we lost Dre Greenlaw, Javon Hargrave, we lost Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk. You know, I mean, like we lost some real hitters, and here we are in the divisional round. We're not supposed to be here. You know, so you know, I'm very happy with the way this season has gone. And even if we go into Seattle and they beat us next weekend, well, we weren't supposed to be there. You know what I mean? So, hey, what's up, Way to Toronto? How you doing tonight? Hope you're doing well. The status of my college team, OU, they lost their great players, but the young team cracks the top 10. Yeah, and that's good stuff, you know? So, you know, like I said, we're kind of playing with house money. Yeah, glad to see you as well, bro. Glad you could make it back. So tomorrow night we got Steelers and Texans, and I'm honestly not too sure about how I feel about that game, just because DeMeco Ryans is the coach of the Texans, and he used to be our defensive coordinator. So, you know, I tend to root for guys that are, you know, a part of the the Shanahan family, if you will, of coaches and stuff. And their linebacker, their all-pro linebacker, Al-Shazir, Aziz Al-Shazir, I think his name is, used to be a Niner. So, you know, they are. That defense is insane, bro. That defense is insane. The offense is a little bipolar, to be honest. But, you know, C.J. Stroud, he's a good quarterback. Nico Collins is back. They got some pieces there in that defense. Like that pass rush is sick. So they're going to have to scheme some stuff up to get the ball out quick for Rodgers to win this game, you know, in my opinion. Because Rodgers ain't doing much scrambling. Like he, you know, a couple weeks ago when they played the Browns, like he was getting that ball out super quick, like 2 seconds. Just because he knew that pass rush was coming. So it ought to be interesting. It is in Pittsburgh, though, so that definitely plays a role. But, and Pittsburgh's got DK Metcalf back, too, so his last 3 years of college football with Ohio State, he is a bad MFer. Let him find his feet and watch. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing with him. He's another younger quarterback, you know. But, like, dude's talented. You know what I mean? Like, these guys are the future of the league. So, Cora says, please like the live if you're enjoying watching. Thank you. And, yeah, be sure to subscribe if you're new. Lately, we've been talking a lot about football. It's playoff time, you know what I mean? But the channel's about recovery from addiction. But, you know, football's one of my enjoyments in life, I guess you would say. You know, besides my family. And actually, we watch football together, so it's perfect. But, you know, so I have so much faith in him and Tyler Murray. I believe he's with Kyler Murray, right? It is. It is. It actually feels pretty decent. They were both drafted the same year. I followed both of them in college, and they bad MFers. I love watching both. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the thing is, like, that's kind of the way the league is going, I think. Like, you got these younger quarterbacks that can, yeah, Kyler Murray, huh? You know, you got these younger quarterbacks that can get it done with their legs to a certain extent. And, you know, not necessarily running quarterbacks, but just quarterbacks that can get it done with their legs. What is that? Oh, wait, no. It's just short of a national holiday. What's that? Okay, good. You haven't been feeling great lately, so you need to stay warm. Yeah, and it's definitely cold. So the hat, honestly, it feels like it's huge on my head. I'm not this sort of a hat guy, you know what I mean? But I do love it. Bang, bang. It is football Sunday for sure. And we'll probably go live again tomorrow night, either during the game or after the game, depending on how that goes, before I head back to work on Tuesday. But, yeah, it was, and then Buffalo made it through. So the AFC is still kind of playing out. But so you got Buffalo, New England, Denver, and either the Steelers or the Texans, I guess. If the Texans make it through, I believe they're the 7th seed, so they'd go to Denver, which would be really interesting because Denver's got a hell of a defense too. But it might be one of them games where you're kind of flicking back and forth between the channels. You know what I mean? Because there's just not going to be a lot of scoring, in my opinion. Sports Jazz fan, what is up, brother? Glad you made it in. He says, round 3, here we go, ready to send the Winers home once again. Well, like I said earlier, SJ, we're going to call you SJF, all right? SJF, basically the Niners are playing with house money. We basically are this was our realigning season, not necessarily our rebuild, but our realigning season where we had a mass exodus of star players. We're not supposed to be here. Appreciate that. Yeah, I was. The one thing I'm seeing with this Niners defense that's consistent is they stand up when they need to. That final Bears drive, this final drive in this game, like they did good. Like the red zone defense is really good. So, here we go, round 3. We weren't even supposed to be here. So, I mean, the irony would be winning the Super Bowl with a team that I didn't think could do it when we had 2 prior teams in the last 5-6 years that I thought for sure would do it. But, we'll see. It's 1 week at a time. And honestly, we'll see what happens. We need to recompete. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I was shocked by the Pats defense tonight. I hadn't paid attention to them. Yeah, absolutely. And I hadn't either, I know they had, in the regular season, they beat a bunch of bad teams. So, I thought they were fraudulent, but they earned a little bit of respect tonight. Still not sure if they're good enough to appreciate that. So, yeah, I'm still not sure if they're good enough to, what's up, Chris? How you doing? I don't know. I don't know what's up in that AFC. I know the Houston Texans have the best defense that we're worth writing home about as of, yeah. And, I thought the Chargers were going to have them one and done, but, it's a game of matchups, they say, and apparently they matched up. Sports Jazz, or SJF says, I disagree with the premise. You guys aren't supposed to be here. Y'all have Shanahan and good enough offense to put up points while the defense mainly sucks. They can step up in certain situations. And you know what? Honestly, I think coaching and the fact that our special teams actually is playing good this year is really what has got us going, because the defense is really young. And the offense is kind of a mixed bag, like we got we have a lot of older players on the squad now. So, there's definitely some things we need to work on in the draft and free agency if Jed York's willing to write some checks this year, but I don't know, we'll see. But I think like the tight end Jake Tonjes is gonna have to step it up. He's shown some flashes, but with Kittle being done, damn, Tapwood, that sucks. But regardless, I was hoping for the Cheeseheads, honestly, but really want round 3. But here we are, nervous for sure. Probably will be a better game. I hope so. I hope so. These defensive struggle games can tend to be kind of boring, to be honest with you. We like to see some points scored, but I don't know. We got to go up there to your house, and we know it's loud as hell up there. It's definitely going to be an interesting matchup. I haven't looked at the opening line on that game yet. I don't know. I'm sure we're probably going to be 5 or 6 point underdog going in, but we were a 6 point underdog going in today. And, we got it done in hostile territory. So I think the key to going in there and winning in Seattle is to jump out to a lead and quiet that crowd. Because that crowd can be problems, Uh, but yeah, I'm looking forward to next week. I see there's 2 games on Saturday and 2 games on Sunday. I sure do hope we get a Sunday game because I'm probably going to be, more than likely, I'm going to be at work on Saturday. -7. Yeah, I kind of figured it'd be something like that, you know? So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. One thing I will say uh, is it Eric Kendricks or Eric Hendrickson? I forget. The linebacker uh, that came up off our practice squad. He's a veteran. He's been around. He played for Dallas last year. He did a good job on the defense. He was good at getting to where the ball was. Afternoon game on Saturday. Shit. Okay. Yeah, more than likely. You know, uh, if Rodgers is playing, he's definitely going to be in prime time. You know what I mean? So, and then you got the 1 seeds will probably duke it out on Sunday. So, we'll see. The Thunder's going to 2-peat. You know, I've been watching a little bit of Sports Center. Why do they struggle so much with San Antonio, Taft? I'd seen San Antonio gives them fits. What's the deal there? Like I said, I don't watch basketball. But lately I've been on Sports Center early in the morning, so just throwing a question out there, but when their team is playing, does anyone put some things out there for good luck by their TV? Yeah, there's a question. Does anybody have like any rituals or bring out like the memorabilia or anything on game day to give your team luck? All right, Biggie, you take it easy, bro. Let's go Spurs. Please, please knock out the Thunder. No, I don't put it on Herbert because towards the end there, like he was running for his team's life and he was taking some shots. Like, dude's kind of a tank, you know? Like, I thought he got hurt and then he ended up coming back in for the next series, and I was like, I tip my cap to that, you know? I respect the ruggedness, you know? But are they in the same conference? Are they both in the West? Or yeah, see, I don't follow basketball enough to know anymore. No, I tip my hat to Herbert though. Dude's a soldier. Hey, give me a quick second, guys. I'm gonna run and hit the restroom real quick, and then we'll keep it going. Yeah, it's matchups. I think, you know what I mean. Like, that's typical with sports. Some teams just have other teams' numbers because the matchups are right, you know. But give me just a quick second, guys. Go ahead and talk amongst yourselves. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and I'll be right back. All right, time to go with a smaller hat now. Let's see what we got going on here. They beat you 3 times. Round 4 is coming up on 2. Okay, cool. The best record. Yeah, I know. OKC's tearing shit up, though. I guess I'm the only one that does it. That's all right. You're the best, baby. You always bring my team luck, so I appreciate that. Yeah, so some interesting games over the weekend. Yeah, I mean, Buffalo. Honestly, I was kind of surprised they beat Jacksonville. But, you know, Josh Allen, he's just a freak of nature. And, you know, I don't know. We'll see what happens next. I think Buffalo, they were one of the wild cards, right? So they're probably going to go to Denver next, I would imagine. What's up, little T? You happen to never mind. I understood what you were saying. I had to reread it. Oh, and he's talking about the playoffs, I'm assuming. But, yeah, Niners got the win. I was very happy for that. Now it's on to Seattle. You know, we're just, we're going to win with scheme, I guess, you know. So now it's on to Seattle and revenge for that last game. And then I would imagine, so on the other side, who do we got? We got the Rams. Man, I can't even remember who the Rams are going to play. The Bears. Rams and Bears. I don't know. I have a sneaky suspicion the Bears might just end the Rams season. The Rams have not been playing very good football. So, you know, it could be a rematch of us and the Bears, but this time in their house, which could be interesting. Or it could be Rams in Seattle, which is probably more likely. But I don't know. Something about the Rams, they seem like they've lost their edge. But an interesting fact, though, is out of the 4 teams in the divisional round for the NFC, 3 are NFC West teams, which is keeping my prediction alive of NFC West will represent in the Super Bowl. One of us will. And I said AFC West on the other side. Unfortunately, the Chargers didn't help with that. But Denver's still there. And honestly, that's a tough game going into Mile High, you know? Yeah, I think that's becoming a regular little rivalry there, isn't it? The Thunder and the Spurs. And that could definitely be a Western Conference Finals matchup. Luckily, y'all ain't getting the same calls. Who's their second string quarterback? I don't even know who Chicago's backup is. Caleb Williams looks good, though. That dude, he can perform under pressure. Now, if he could just figure out how to not let the other team get so far ahead to where he's got to come back, Chicago's got a bright future, in my opinion. They're going to be a problem for people, but I don't know how far they're going to make it this year. I think they got to beat the Rams next, and Rams are our former team, basically, as far as they got talent all over the place, you know. Oh, okay. Tyson Bagent. All right. The Rams going into cold as fuck Chicago. It's going to be yeah, it definitely is. It's going to be cold, and They're gonna. I have a feeling the Rams are gonna jump out front, and Chicago's gonna do their best to make that comeback again. You know. Yeah. Now Caleb Williams, I don't like his personality because I think he's just a little too cocky. But you know, but dude's definitely very talented. If Seattle survives next weekend, I want to play Chicago. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. You know, because then they well, either way, if Seattle survives, they're going to have to come to you, which is definitely a good advantage. Uh, thank you, Myrtle, for the 100. I appreciate that. Google Travis Began. Yeah, I'll check him out. But yeah, definitely a very good weekend of football. You know, so definitely some good games and more good games to come. You know, he's really okay. So, do you think Herbert's not the answer? Rams scared the shit out of me. Not sure we can beat them. I want to believe, but Darnold doesn't have a great track record. Yeah. Yeah, and you know, and I hear you. And honestly, I think that's the biggest question with Seattle is the quarterback. Like you got the runners. Like I think Niners' game plan coming into this game is going to be to stop that run because you guys ran all over us last time and controlled time of possession, and that makes it hard to win football games. You know, we have to get our run game going or the short pass game going and control time of possession. And, you know, ideally jump out to a lead to quiet down that crowd. So, I don't know. It'll definitely be interesting. Hopefully I'll be able to watch it if I don't have to work, you know. But I was looking at the times for Saturday's games. It's like 12 and 3:30. That's rough. Because I don't get home until about 4:30 in the a.m. And then on Saturday I'm back at work at 5. So I'm gonna have to come home and get some rest and get up to see one of those games. I was hoping for a Sunday game. That way I can just kind of lay in bed and watch it, you know. But we'll see. Oh, I hear what you're saying. Okay, yeah. Yeah, Trey Lance, I don't know. If he was supposed to be our future, Shanahan couldn't develop him. And now if Jim Harbaugh can't develop him, being as good with quarterbacks as he is, I don't know how much longer he's going to be around, you know. Professional backup, I guess. I don't know. At first, Eagles was doing well, but then the 49ers was coming back. Yeah, and I was really happy with the outcome, Raphael. Hope you're doing well, bro. So, anyways, yeah, I wanted to hop on here tonight and touch base with you guys, talk a little football. Like I said, I'll probably hop on again tomorrow. Hey, Peanut and Dog, you just keep baking them out with it, and when you loosen up peanut butter. Right? Yeah, they drafted him. He was like 19 years old when he came to the Niners, and he should have stayed in college longer. I think maybe he would have developed a little bit better. I think he came out of like Montana State or something, which isn't exactly a big, you know, one of those big Division One schools or something, playing top-notch talent. You know, like you gotta play for a good school that plays good teams to even have a chance in the NFL, in my opinion. But, you know, it is what it is. So, yeah, that's kind of the recap of the weekend. We shall see what happens. We're going to be big underdogs again. North Dakota State. That's right. North Dakota State. We'll see what happens this week. Fuck, man. Kittle's done. I don't know how done he is. I hope he's not permanently done. Dude's 32 and tore his Achilles. That's freaking terrible. And I heard those trashy Eagle fans were mocking him on the way out when he was on the cart. You know what I mean? That's so trashy. Like, come on. Like, one thing, I'll say this. When I'm talking to, I was talking to some Eagle fans at work last night, and one thing before a game, oh, I hear you. Okay. Yeah, we don't like North Dakota State. But, one thing I won't do is I will not wish you good luck if you're playing my team, because I don't mean it. But I will wish you good health. I do not like to see injuries, even though my team is the most injury-plagued team, it seems like, in the history of the damn league. I don't want to see people get hurt, Team, but hate him if you play against him, because, he is, and he's got such a big voice on the field and such an inspiration, Yeah, and he tore his Achilles. That's a big injury. That's terrible. It's not a hamstring or something where he'd be ready for camp. I did a little research. That's like a 9 to 12 month recovery. Like, he might not play next year. That's crazy to think that we might not see him all of next year. Yeah. And yeah, that's very well said. He's just one of those guys. Like, you watch like the mic'd up moments with Kittle, and like he seems like he's such a fun personality, you know what I mean? And he happens to be a really good football player, so I don't know, they're gonna have to figure some things out with the tight end thing. I don't know if Jake Tonjes is ready to try to fill them shoes or not, Yeah, he tore his Achilles, bro. So that's rough. 9 to 12 month recovery. So even if it's 9 months, we're in January now. That'd be like October. Like, he might be back for next season somewhere along the way. You know what I mean? Yeah, and that tends to happen, like, they're not the same. And being that he's 32 already, like, I'm just concerned that he might consider hanging up the cleats. I don't think he's ready to do that, but I hope not. I hope we see good old 85 back on the field again. 49ers since the 80s. Let's go, Dub City. All we do is win. Prayers up for Kittle. We run Philly. 49ers. So yeah, thank you, A.J. Brown. That's right. His quote last week when asked about Seattle celebrating in their locker room. Shit, I'd do that too if I. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like, he's a real dude, So, I mean, yeah, and Durant was out for 2 years. I mean, if it's 2 years, basically Kittle's done. He'd be 34 by the time he comes back. You know what I mean? I don't know what you mean by attractive. No, I never taught. I was not a teacher in that aspect. But yeah, so it was a good weekend of football. Man, that's just that Kittle injury. That first Bosa, then Warner, then Kittle, and somehow we're still alive. I mean, shout out to Kyle Shanahan, Robert Saleh, and Gus Bradley for doing an amazing job of coaching these youngsters up and remaining competitive. I mean, uh, you know, sometimes we talk shit about Shanahan and how he goes vanilla with his play calling, but like he dialed it up today. That Jennings touchdown pass, holy shit! Is Clay Thompson? He's never been, yeah, and that's just man, prayers for the big guy. It's good to see Trent Williams back out there again today. He definitely made a difference in the game, but hopefully we can get Ricky Pearsall back next week. We'll see. We definitely need some. Yeah, I'm not sure about that, but yeah, I think we're gonna wrap this up here shortly, guys. I appreciate y'all tapping in. Uh, Another good live tonight. I love talking about football, especially when my Niners win. You know what I mean? But you know, we'll see what happens. We're gonna watch this game tomorrow night. Like I said, maybe I'll hop on live after halftime or something. If it's a good game, we'll see. I just can't show the game because they hit me with copyright. But we'll see what we got. So everybody enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll talk some more football tomorrow night, and yeah, absolutely. And I would expect nothing less from you, SJF. That's what we do, right? Like we were at work yesterday. We were doing our safety meeting, and I was kind of talking shit about football, and I sometimes have to realize that not everybody thinks the way that I do when it comes to sports. You know what I mean? Uh, it's all fun and games to me when it comes to sports. Like I'm going to talk shit about your team, and I would expect nothing less than for you to talk shit about my team if your team isn't the same as mine, right? So that's just what it is. You know what I mean? But bang bang Niner gang, we got that dub city today, and now it's on to Seattle to steal their souls. The number. So we took out. What did we take out? The number 3 seed today, I think. Now it's on to number 1. Let's do this, and then either the Funky Rams or the Funky Bears can get it next. Anyways, have a good night, guys, and don't look at the mountain. Just start climbing. Till next time.